Good morning, gentlemen. Are you on the phone? Mr. Shepherd, Mr. Shamley?
Yes, sir. Family. Hello, sir.
Good morning. Chair is calling the meetings to order at this time. I want to say good morning to all of the staff that are represented here, my colleagues, the different visitors that are represented here, the leadership. Welcome to our meetings this morning. How we usually go about conducting meetings here is we start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. And there this morning, Mr. Ben Dugdale will lead us in that pledge. And then after the pledge, we'll go ahead and have a prayer. And Shirley Pulsifer will lead us in that prayer. And then after that, we'll go into the official calling the meetings to order at that time. So shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Ben Dugdale.
Our gracious Father in heaven, we're thankful for the many blessings that we've received. We're thankful for the opportunity to live in this land, in this county, in these communities. We ask Thee to bless this land, bless us with moisture and the things that we need to sustain ourselves. We ask Thee to bless the leaders of our country. Bless the leaders of this county, that Thy Spirit will be with them, that they will be able to have inspiration that will best benefit the people of this county and the communities. We ask Thee to bless each of us, that we will keep Thee in mind in all that we do and in matters that will best work to further our opportunities in this community. Our Father in heaven, we ask Thee to bless those that are traveling, that Thy Spirit will be with them. They'll be watched over and safe as they travel. Father in heaven, we ask these many blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
We lost.
Are you there? This connection must be bad. I keep losing.
He's back.
I've lost Mr.
Let's go ahead and take a break before we get into official business. I understand we lost connection to Supervisor Shamley. Let's get him back on the line first. Appreciate everybody being here.
Lost them both.
Yeah. Oh, we lost them both. Yeah. Mr. Barry Williams asked me this morning, how's the wind up north? We have our winds up there, Mr. Williams. Sometimes people complain about the weather. Whether it rains or snow or when it's windy, when it's hot. I always tell my children and some of the people I know when they do that, say, no, I don't do that. The wind is good. It cleans up the earth, right? Blows the trash away. That's right. And then it brings out the green at this time, right? It shakes those buds and brings out the green. It's really getting green again. So
forwarded to an automated voice messaging.
We keep losing him.
So it's getting green all over, and the wind does that. So the wind is good. You can't complain about that. I don't know what we do without the wind. And the same way with all the rest of the other elements, whether it's hot or rain, the rain makes the things grow and provides water for the livestock and the wildlife out there for us.
Again. Hang on.
And then same way with the snow, moisture, And then the sun. Well, hey, I like to sweat myself, and that's kind of our way of life, So when it gets to 120 degrees, that's nothing to me, you know. I like it. Hey, you know, sunshine.
Hopefully we'll keep it.
That's good, you know. We need to learn how to enjoy, you know,
still
what
there?
the Lord provides, you know,
Okay.
rather than complaining about it. You know, says, oh man, the wind's no good, the rain's no good, muddy, and all of that. You know, no. Hey, the Lord giveth, you know. The Lord giveth, so we need to enjoy and be thankful.
I think we have.
Oh, okay, so we're good to go now. Hi, good morning again, gentlemen. Are you there, Mr. Shamley, Mr. Shepherd?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Yes, sir.
Okay, gentlemen, let's go ahead and get down to official business now. With that, the chair will go ahead and call the county's Public Health Services District meeting to order. At this time, we do have an item on the agenda. Sir?
Good morning, Mr. Shirley and Supervisors.
Morning.
Apache County Public Health Services District requests discussion and possible approval to contract with Rebecca Rivera, RN, for clinical assistance as needed. Rate of pay is $30 an hour, not to exceed 32 hours per week, and the total amount of the contract is $4,000. We need contract nurses, as I only have two full-time nurses. One works 40 hours, the other 32 hours per week. We hire registered nurses who have training in biological, physical, social, psychological, and behavioral sciences, professional responsibilities, legal and ethical issues, and history and trends in nursing and health care. So we need contract nurses. So if a nurse is sick or on vacation, we can still have coverage that we need.
You do have the monies to pay the contract.
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, gentlemen, there you have it. What are your wishes?
I make a motion we approve.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. With that, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the Public Health Services District meeting, gentlemen.
Motion to adjourn. Public health. Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn the Public Health Services District meeting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we go ahead and do this. So with that, the Public Health Services District meeting is hereby adjourned. Okay, now let's go ahead and call the county's Board of Supervisors meeting to order. We do have several items on the agenda. We do have a gentleman here, Mr. Mylan Eaton, the guy with a real nice shirt.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I like that shirt, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Board, appreciate the opportunity to be here and present to you this morning.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Mylan Eaton. I think we met at the down in Phoenix a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before this was actually an approved project and
Yeah.
had legs under it.
That's good to see you again, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The state E-rate director. E-rate is a fund that helps fund our schools, telecommunications, and our internal connections. So we're leveraging this fund now to help bring broadband to places in Arizona that we don't have it today.
Mm-hmm.
St. John's has limited access. We have, a commitment from the governor's office that says, he wants to, bring equal learning all over the state, which means they need access to high-speed internet in order to receive the same services that schools in metropolitan areas do. The FCC's recommended a guideline, although they don't give us a lot of funding for it, but they're a guideline saying that there should be 1.5 megabits per user with a minimum of 100 megabits per district for internet access. And that's for, a small school. Median schools, 1 gig per 1,000 users. I don't think you actually have a gigabit of access in St. John's today, much less for the schools. So we're looking for ways to change that, to build more access into the areas. it's a very short-term opportunity. We have the FCC in 2015, with their second order, said that if a state puts in 10% funding, then the feds will give us an additional 10%. So a school that's a 80% E-rate school basically has 80% of their telecom costs paid for with federal money. If they're an 80% school, the state can give 10%, and we'll get an additional 10% from the feds, which equates to 100% paid for the construction projects. So they still have their monthly recurring costs for their bandwidth. Typically, a decent price for internet bandwidth is about $15 a meg. So $1,500 for 100 meg access is, fair and reasonable anywhere you go in the state. With this program, we can actually build towers. We can put fiber in the ground. We can do whatever it takes to build that access to these, remote schools. This is a timeline. It shows we started this process. Actually, I started this process 3 years ago. We're just now to the point that we have funding. We finished our first E-rate cycle. The Corporation Commission put together, and I think you guys actually sent a letter in support of the Corporation Commission's decision to provide $8 million for this program. The governor's office was requested to provide $6 million. We received $3 million in the budget, so that's not a bad percentage with our governor's budget. This is a simple flow chart showing the process for schools to follow to get the broadband access paid for. It's somewhat of an eye chart, and I can't even read it from here. But it helps the schools, it guides them through the process. And within this form online on the Department of Ed website, there's hotspots. You can hover over it, click on it, and you can actually get the forms, the state funding letter request. I point you to the USAC website, the Universal Services website, where they can get more instructions. Our E-rate resources for Arizona, I take care of all the schools in the state, just over 7,000. We have Mala that takes care of the libraries, about 220. And then we have our state procurement office. They put out statewide contracts so that we can, leverage buying power all over the state. Something that this project is paying for today. We finished our first E-rate session, E-rate closing, the 11th of last week. So with it, we're bringing $14.5 million worth of construction projects to Arizona. And a lot of it is northern Arizona. Shirley's, the consortium is, has $8 million, I think. I think it was $8 million, $5 or $8 million just for this area, northern Arizona. So, out of that $14.5 million, it's going to cost the state 1.1. So our return on investment is extremely good on this, especially for a community that doesn't have to put anything into it, and they're going to receive the benefits from it. Now, what we can do is, with this project, we're putting some of these places that in the consortium's project, they're putting fiber in the ground. When they open that ground up, we can add more strands of fiber, more telecom services in that trench to provide services to the communities. So this is is strictly for schools and libraries. However, if the road is open, trench is open, we can put more stuff in there. It just won't be paid for out of this fund. So if the county said, you know what, we want a fiber link to run the length of the county, when that pipe is open, put your, pay for that extra fiber to be put in. It's pennies on the construction cost. Okay? Do we have any questions?
Gentlemen, do you have any questions? Mr. Shamley and Mr. Shepherd? Anybody?
Mr. Shepherd, are you still with us?
Yeah. Mr. Shamley?
He's there, I just checked.
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm good. Actually, is Mr. Eaton going to be meeting with our school officials and others today? Make himself available, like in the Eager, St. John's, all the areas?
Chairman, can I connect back to Mr. Shepherd? I've lost Mr. Shepherd. Hold on.
Now go ahead, Mr. Eden. We still have a meeting going.
We're going to the school district folks this afternoon when we finish here. I'll meet with Ben, Shirley. I'm going to plan on being in the St. John's area all day today, so I'm available for anyone that wants to get together.
Okay.
And if somebody needs something later, I can always come back up.
Shepherd?
Mhm.
Okay, we've got, well, we'll put,
Okay,
Is it
Mr.
better?
Shamley, does that answer your question?
hold on. Mr. Shamley, you're there? Okay, I have Mr. Shepherd on a better line, so we'll put you back on speakerphone. I don't believe Mr. Shamley heard your answer.
Mr. Shamley, does that, oh,
Mr. Shamley? Yes, I plan on being in the St. John area all day today. And if anybody wants to meet with me, I'm here. Barry Williams has my contact number, as we talk often, more often than he likes, I'm sure. But I'll be here for the day, and if I need to, I can come back up and meet with whoever needs help. I'm also working with the Governor's Economic Development Office on this same subject, helping to bring some services into, on the community side of it, where I concentrate on schools, but I'm also helping the economic development folks too.
okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, I guess there's none, Mr. Eden. We'd like to express appreciation to you coming up here and sharing information with us, and working with us. So
Thank you, sir.
very
It's a pleasure.
much. Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, let's go ahead and move on to item number 2, Mr. Wingard.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, number 2 is the consent agenda. We have items A, B, and C, and we would recommend approval.
Okay, gentlemen, what are your wishes? Mr. Shamley, Mr. Shepherd, we're on item number 2. What are your wishes? Yeah.
Mr. Shepherd? Mr. Shamley, are you still with us? Okay. Okay, let me put you back on speaker. You're there.
Okay, Mr. Shamley, Mr. Shepherd, we're on item number 2. Mr. County Manager, Mr. Wingard just recommended that he'd appreciate it.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda. Second that.
Okay, motion and a second to go with the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Hello? Yep.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, it's 3 in favor, none opposing, so it's unanimous that we approve the particular item as presented. Okay, item number 3.
Morning, Chairman,
Morning.
members of the board.
I'll pick that up.
Here to discuss and possibly approve an intergovernmental agreement between Apache County, Pinal County, the Superior Court in Apache County, and the Superior Court in Pinal County.
I need to pick up, when I'm trying to talk to Beth, go ahead and pick it up, Beth. That'll interrupt, they won't be able to hear just for a
Supervisor?
second.
Can
Don't-
you hear?
There's some interference.
Dalton's driving.
On our
Oh,
end, we're hearing.
probably should just park or
someone's
something.
driving. I don't know, I think that's cutting out the other supervisor. But Paul Hancock is presenting. Can you hear okay? Mr. Shamley, you there? Okay. Okay, all right, we're gonna adjust that. I'm gonna put you back on speakerphone. Paul, come stand right here with the mic. And then speak as you're.
Okay. The discussion and possible approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Apache County, Pinal County, the Superior Courts in Apache County and Pinal County, and the Juvenile Probation Departments in Apache and Pinal County for the housing of Apache County juveniles ordered involuntarily detained for more than 24 hours.
Okay, gentlemen, I hope you've heard that presentation on item number 3 from Mr. Hancock. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but what are your wishes, gentlemen?
I make a motion.
Okay, Mr. Shamley moves to go ahead and go with the particular item that's presented. Mr. Shepherd?
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second to go with a particular item as presented, gentlemen. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Thank you, Mr. Hancock. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Crosby, item number 4. Yeah.
Have the mic.
Mine's good.
Oh, never mind.
Good morning, Supervisors. Item 4 is a request to award or to piggyback off a Navajo County bid for asphalt emulsions. We anticipate using about 15 tons of CRS2P this year at a cost of $392 a ton for an estimated cost of $201,880, and would recommend approval.
Okay, gentlemen, what are your wishes?
I make a motion. I have a question.
Okay, motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Mr. Shamley, question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Crosby, what's the advantage or disadvantage or the point of going on, as you say, piggybacking with Navajo County?
Yeah, Supervisor, Navajo County typically does an annual contract or an annual bidding process for asphalt emulsion. They do much more than we do. It's just kind of a convenience for us. They go through the advertising and the selection process for the asphalt. It's actually what we've done for quite a few years. We find it's easy for us to do.
Okay, are there any other questions?
No.
Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that, Mr. Crosby, so thank you very much. Okay, item number 5, Malina.
Good morning, Supervisors.
Morning.
Item 5 is discussion and possible approval of a contract between NACOG and Apache County for technical assistance to the Community Development Block Grant.
Okay. Gentlemen?
Motion. Shepherd.
Is there a second?
Second, Shamley.
Okay, motion and second to approve the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Thank you, Malino. Okay, item number 6.
Good morning, members of the board. Discussion possible approval of an addendum to certificate of bank account addendum to certificate of authority and resolution to open one new bank account with the National Bank of Arizona and add authorized signatures to that account for the health department. This request is a conjuncture of the banking service RFP that was approved by the board on April 7th, 2017.
Okay, gentlemen. What are your wishes?
Motion. Motion we approve.
Okay, Mr. Shepherd moves. Mr. Shamley, you second?
Yes.
Okay, motion and a second to approve that particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, item number 7, Mr. Wingard.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board, number 7 is discussion and possible approval of a lease agreement with Steve Hall to lease property in Eager, Arizona for storage of county equipment at a cost of $7,200 annually. This would allow us to store the sheriff's emergency equipment in someplace other than the blue building that we have at the rodeo grounds. It also will provide a place for the health department to store material that they need on a regular basis, and we would recommend approval.
Okay, gentlemen. What are your wishes?
A motion. Motion, Mr. Shepherd. Second, family.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented, gentlemen. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. So, item number 8, Mr. Wingard.
Yes, number 8 is discussion and possible approval to accept a one-time payment of $50,000 from the Arizona State Forester. This amount will be a pass-through to the Eastern Counties Organization for County Environmental Programs.
Okay, gentlemen, what are your wishes?
I make a motion with discussion. Second by Shepherd.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Mr. Shanley, did you say you have a question?
Yeah, I have a couple points. There's some, I think we're going to have to replace, not the specific topic, but the funding and the sources and streams on another agenda, because I have information coming in from the state legislature concerning this item. At this point, I don't feel that it affects the vote, but I think we need to be ready to rediscuss this soon.
Okay, Mr. Wingard?
Yes, whatever we need to do, whatever information Supervisor Shamley has, we can certainly put it on the agenda and discuss it further whenever he would like.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Shamley, otherwise we have a live motion on the table to go with the particular item as presented. Are there any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. That puts us through the gamut of our agenda items. Other than the item number 9, we do have an individual one to address the board under this particular item, so let's go ahead and do that. Mr. Art Modica? Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
I have 2 issues I'd like to talk about. You guys developed a comprehensive development plan for the county. I think there's time to develop a plan for road development and future projects to improve the roads in the county. One where you guys go out and address the roads that really need to be improved and upgraded, and make goals to do that, and status the county taxpayers on how you're developing it. And one other subject I want to talk about in communications. There are some departments in this county that do not call people back after weeks, 2 weeks. There are departments that communicate well, like the Treasury Department, the County Assessor's Office, and the Supervisor's Office. They call you back within 2 to 3 days of your phone call. And I had made a phone call to a certain office in here, and it's been over a week, and I've not gotten a phone call. So this is something that the county should address with the managers of these departments to get back with the taxpayers. So thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Modica. We'll go ahead and leave that up to Mr. Wingard and the powers that be to address some of the concerns expressed under this particular item. So with that, gentlemen, we've gone through the gamut of our agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the board meeting.
Motion, Shepherd. Second.
Okay, motion and a second to adjourn the board meeting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we go ahead and do this. So with that, the board meeting is hereby adjourned.